Hang on, just putting on a little lip gloss for my shadow daddy, Zayden, because he's gonna be here in 3 hours. Onyx Storm is releasing in 3 hours. 3 hours. Somehow, by the grace of God, my Amazon order did not get canceled. I saw that that was happening to a lot of people, and I'm so sorry for all of your pre-orders that got canceled. I can't even imagine how frustrating that is. Somehow, thankfully, mine didn't. It hasn't shipped yet, but it does say it's going to be delivered tomorrow. So that is giving me some hope. However, of course, I also pre-ordered the Kindle version. So the ebook, I'm assuming, will be here at midnight, and it is currently almost 9 o'clock. I can't believe it's here. I rewatched my Iron Flame vlog from November of 2023. That's how long ago that was. Honestly, it was great to have that to like reference and look back, because it reminded me how I was feeling while I was reading that book, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it also prepared me for Onyx Storm without having to reread. I probably should have reread, but I feel like I watched enough between my vlog and then a bunch of other people's like recaps and all of that. I feel like I'm in a good enough place where I remember this world pretty well. Did I even say hi or welcome back to the channel? I don't even know where we are. I'm so flustered because I'm so excited. So, welcome back to the channel. My name is Charlie, and today we are here to read Onyx Storm. Now, if you are watching this, I'm warning you right now, there will be spoilers. This entire video is going to be full of spoilers. So if you have not read Onyx Storm yet, I'm going to tell you right now, you should leave, read the book, and then come back, okay? Because once the book gets downloaded to my Kindle, we are talking spoilers, okay? The rest of the vlog is spoilers. So this is your warning. Once I'm not sitting here anymore, get out and come back after you read it if you feel like it. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I poured myself an energy drink like an hour ago because I'm really truthfully trying to stay up and do some reading at midnight. We'll see how that goes. I somehow, by like some miracle, I think I'm just God's favorite, I got the day off tomorrow. Like, not intentionally. I didn't ask for it, but it just like happened that way. I'm off the release day of Onyx Storm. Like, that's crazy. So I'm feeling like binging can happen. I'm hopeful that I will be able to pretty much read this in a day. Honestly, because that's kind of all the time I've allotted for this video and this book. Also, because I don't trust anyone with spoilers. So I'm not going on my phone. I will not be on Instagram. I will not be on TikTok. I will not be on BookTube until I finish this book, because I don't trust a single one of them to not spoil things. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. So my plan is to try and get as far into it as I can tonight, but I probably won't get very far because that's way past my bedtime. And then tomorrow morning, we're just gonna sit and binge the crap out of this, and I will update you with all of my thoughts. I'm praying. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous because something hyped like this, there's always that risk factor that people are hyping it too much, and because of that it has expectations that it just can't meet. And that I felt very much like that was the case for Iron Flame. The first half of that book, I struggled. I felt like nothing was happening. I was looking forward to it, and then I was like, what is this? This isn't what I signed up for. I don't think that Onyx Storm will be like that, but I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. Also, the way that Iron Flame ends makes me very nervous. I'll quickly discuss a few theories with you so we can all laugh at me when I'm wrong or pat me on the back when I'm right. Theory number one, and this is like my biggest theory. I don't have concrete evidence to back this up because I just haven't taken the time to go find the concrete evidence, but I, in my heart of hearts, believe that the leader of the Venin, which is consistently referenced as being male, I believe it is Violet's father. I do. I'm convinced that he's still alive, and I think that that's because he turned Venin. I don't know why he would be attacking people with this army, but I also feel like he probably has a good reason, and I feel like now that Xaden is Venom. He's going to be introduced to him. Then it's going to be a whole other secret situation that he's going to be keeping from Violet, that her father is involved. But I feel like this is going to all come together. I'm pretty sure in this book that Xaden's going to end up being like in the Venom ranks. I don't think he's going to like fight it. And I think he's so self-sacrificing that he's going to be like, Violet, I can't keep you safe when I'm like this, so I'm gonna leave. This is goodbye. See you later. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the kind of person he is. And that gives me fear. It gives me a lot of fear, because if he is gone for most of this book, that's not gonna be acceptable for me. Okay, I need Xaden for this book to be good. I need Xaden, I need Tarn, I need Andarna. That's kind of it. That's kind of all I need to make sure those characters are front and center. I saw something which also gave me fear. I saw something on a TikTok. See, this is why, spoilers and things. I saw something on a TikTok that said the audiobook narrators for Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, there's 2 narrators listed, a male and a female. Onyx Storm, there's only a female narrator listed. What do you mean? What do you mean? So does that mean that we have no Xaden for this entire book? No perspective from Xaden? Why? What do you mean? This gives me fear, because now I'm convinced he's going to be missing for a good majority of the book. And that was one of my biggest complaints with the beginning of Iron Flame, was that the 2 of them not being together wasn't entertaining for anyone involved. So that's giving me pause and giving me fear, but we'll find out. Also have a theory, and I'm not going to take credit for this theory because I definitely saw this on TikTok, but it makes perfect sense to me, that Violet's second signet, we're going to find out what it is, and I truly believe it's one of 2 things. I think it's either she's an intrinsic, like Xaden, maybe in a different way, but like Xaden. Or I think she has some kind of necromancy, resurrection, something ability. Or maybe like a healing ability for the Venom, like to like unvenom them. Something like that. Like, she's gonna be the key to it all. She's gonna be the key to like defeating the Venom and saving people from becoming Venom or something. I feel like that's gonna be a thing. There's so many theories out there. Those are my top 2. Her dad is the leader of the Venom, and her second signet is either something similar to Xaden, which is gonna get her killed, possibly, or it's something that has to do with the Venom and healing them, or resurrecting, or necromancy, or something along those lines. Those are my 2 biggest theories. I hope we get both of those answers in this book, but who knows, because this is a 5-book series and this is only book 3, so we have no idea. That is all of my pre-reading thoughts. The next time you see me, I will be curled up on the couch with my Kindle, ready to download Onyx Storm at the strike of midnight. I'm so excited. I'll see you soon. 3 hours. Listen, we are not here for an aesthetic time. We're here for a dragony, heartbreaking time. First of all, it is not midnight yet, okay? I successfully stayed awake, so that's good. I do already have an update, and here's why. Rebecca Yaros made a playlist for Onyx Storm. And when I tell you I'm scared, who's afraid of little old me? Vigilante ship. All the good girls go to hell. Bury a friend? What do you mean? I'll follow you into the dark. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Skinny love. I'm not gonna survive. I'm not. I'm telling you right now, I'm not. Humble by Kendrick Lamar. The only exception. Stop it. Tolerate it. What About Us by Pink? You're losing me. Nope. Nope, I send it back. I send it back. And then ending with Hallelujah. This is not gonna be good. I'm freaking terrified. I did see someone post from like a release party. Somebody was like, are we gonna be like emotionally unstable after this book? And she kind of was like, I don't think so. She was like, I don't think so. Like, I love it, and I don't think you're gonna like get your feelings hurt, but maybe read with a friend. So like, what does that mean? It's 11:57 and I haven't checked to see if I have the book yet in like an hour, but I did check like an hour ago and it was not here, and I was a sad girl. So let's see. Nope. I feel like Kindle's gonna like crash. at midnight. This title will be ordered, delivered to your Kindle on January 21st. At what time? You're just gonna sit here with me while we wait. Okay, we're just gonna wait together. 11:59. This is just such fun content, isn't it? I'm telling you right now, this better be on my Kindle at midnight. Because if I stayed up till midnight for nothing, I'm gonna be so mad. Also, shout out to this channel that has these like ambiance playlists. Let me see, what's the channel called? Fantasia Ambiance. This one is called Stormy Night at Basgayath College. I'm digging it. There's dragons flying around. It's very cool. Oh my god, it's midnight. Guys, it's midnight. Okay. Okay, everyone remain calm. Let's see. Dude, it's not here. Is this because I'm on the East Coast? Am I gonna have to wait until fucking 3 a.m. West Coast time? Because, like, I just stayed up for nothing. I'm mad. But also, like, what did I expect, honestly? Maybe if I close it. This is ridiculous. Okay, now we're gonna open it again. Did anything change? No? Okay. Well, that was very anticlimactic. So I guess I'm gonna go to bed and we're gonna have to read this book in the morning. I wanted to at least read like the first chapter tonight. Whatever, it's probably for the best. Tomorrow we will wake up bright and early, fresh as a daisy, and we will finish the crap out of this book. Try one more time, just in case something changed in the last 2 minutes. Nope. What a terrible start to this video. It feels like Christmas Eve. Like, how am I supposed to sleep knowing that Santa's coming and bringing me Zayden Ryerson? The Eyes of Venin. Oh, okay, I'll see you in the... Okay, I know I just said goodnight, but guys, it's here. It's here. Oh my god, it's here. Guys, it's here. It's here. Just turn my Kindle on one more time to check it. It's 12:07, so this is good information to know, because I was just Googling it because I wanted to know, like, just for future reference, and I was like, if I go to bed now, then, like, I will never know what the answer is to when a Kindle book releases. So I was Googling to see if anybody knew the answer, and I was reading a bunch of things that were saying like 3 a.m., which I'm definitely not staying up for 3 a.m. So I was like, all right, that sucks, whatever. But then I was like, let me turn on the Kindle one more time, and there it is. All of a sudden it just popped up. I wish I had gotten that on camera, but it's saying typical time to read 15 hours and 5 minutes. How is that possible that we have that information yet? All right, here goes nothing. Oh, nope. Now here goes nothing. Okay, now here goes, nope. Here, nope, okay. Oh, the ones who don't run with the popular crowd, the ones who get caught reading under their desks, the ones who feel like they never get invited, included, or represented. Get your leathers, we have dragons to ride. Sweet. Okay, I don't want to read trigger warnings. Following text has been faithfully transcribed from Navarian into the modern language by Justinia Neil Ward, curator of the Scribe Quadrant at Basgayath War College. All events are true and names have been preserved to honor the courage of those fallen. May their souls be commanded to Malik. I'm going to get reading. All right, so I just finished the prologue only. It picks up pretty much right from the end of the last book. Maybe like 12 hours later. And Violet is chasing Zayden somewhere. She doesn't know where he's going, but she's following him. She was asleep and she heard the door close. So she woke up, realized he was going somewhere, and she followed him. And of course, where's he going? He's going to see Jack in the prison to find out what he is and what the deal is. And the whole way there, Violet is talking to Andarna. Taryn is asleep, I guess, or not answering, and so is Zayden's dragon. I can never pronounce her name. So Violet and Andarna are just like having a private conversation together, and Andarna is curious about what she was able to do to the venin, and she's like, I wonder if the key to possibly curing venin lies with my kind, with my family. She wants to find her family anyway, so she's like, let's look into this. Maybe I'm the cure. And Violet's like, well, I don't want to use you. And she's like, let's do it on our own terms. Love that. I think that's going to be a big part of this book, is learning more about Andarna and her past and her family and origin. And that's going to be fascinating. We get to Zayden talking to Jack, and Jack is like, you might as well just like give in now because you're not going to be able to fight this. And you can turn Violet in. Maybe they'll even let her stay alive just to keep you on a tight leash. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. Fuck you. There's got to be another way. And Jack is just being a jerk. And Violet is eavesdropping on this conversation. And now she's scared because she's like, Jack is going to tell the first person he sees what Xaden is now. So she's like trying to figure out how to protect him, trying to figure out how to cure him. And Darna's like, you're going to have to start keeping secrets from him again. She's like, I know, but it's to protect him. So we're going to have that whole miscommunication trope again, where they're keeping secrets to protect each other. But really, it's just going to create drama and chaos. But I'm worried. I'm so worried. So that was the whole prologue. That's all we got so far. Chapter 1 says 2 weeks later. So I'm curious, in those 2 weeks, how did Violet keep Jack from telling on Xaden? Those are my initial thoughts. I'm excited about the Indarna origin story. I'm frightened for Xaden. And I need Jack to fall on a sword and die. A painful death. I feel like I'm just gonna have to leave the camera on. Like every time I turn it off, I'm gonna have something to say. And like literally I was like, oh, I'll just like read a bunch tonight as much as I can before I fall asleep, and then I'll update in the morning. Like 3 pages in and I already have thoughts. This is just I love Indarna moment. My first of many. So they're flying somewhere. It's cold, it's freezing, it's snowing. Indarna is mad that they didn't let her go with them for like flight training. She's like, you can't keep leaving me out of it. Taryn says, why don't you practice evenly dispersing enough magic to keep all your extremities warm during flight, because your wings won't hold the weight of this ice. And Indarna goes, your wings won't hold the weight of this ice. And Indarna blatantly mocks him. And yet yours miraculously carry the burden of your ego. She is so freaking funny. So funny. Taryn's like, go find a sheep and let the adults work. The two of them are going to kill me. They're going to kill me. I swear it. Good morning. Happy release day. Just sat down to start my reading today. Did a little cleaning and stuff so that I could really just sit here and focus the rest of the day. I have no responsibilities. I put my phone away. I'm not touching it until I finish, which hopefully will be today. According to my Kindle, I have 12 hours of reading to do, which is doable in a day, I would say. I mean, it's already noon, so not a great time to be starting, but it's fine. Last night I didn't do much, but I did manage to get 10% in, so I read the first 5 chapters. Feel like the difference in energy and plot between this book and Iron Flame is, you can't even measure it. There's so much more going on here. There's so much politics going on. There is so much infighting going on. At the start of this book, obviously we're dealing with the negotiations between the Primordial and Navarians, and they're trying to decide if they're going to let the Griffin Riders stay. And the negotiations have been going on for a few days now. It's not going great, but they're still negotiating. Nobody's walked away from the table yet, so that's a good sign. However, outside of that, all the students are completely infighting. So at the part I just got to, I'm in about to start chapter 6. They are in the courtyard and there's this big challenge being presented by First Wing and Third Wing. Basically everyone who didn't leave Basgayath in the first place, all the people that didn't join the rebel forces, they view all of these people that did as traitors to the Navarians. They're like, we've been at war with these people our entire lives for generations, and now you want us to partner with them and you want to let them stay in our school. They didn't cross the parapet. They didn't challenge anyone. They haven't attended school here. Like, they do not deserve a place here. And you, all defending them, you deserted us. And, you know, Dane is there to say, like, okay, but no, not true. We left, but we came back, and we're the reason you're still here, and they all helped us. It's not going well. Like, it's not going well at all. Violet tried to get Arik to, like, make a speech. She's like, any chance you have any, like, speech-giving qualities, like your family? And he's like, no. And this girl, Aura, is just like in Dane's face, really trying to fight Dane. And Andarna keeps saying in Violet's mind, Dane's not the most powerful, Dane's not the strongest one. And she's saying that Violet's the one that should, if anyone's gonna challenge this Aura girl, it should be Violet. So Violet just stepped forward and she's like, hold on a minute. If we're gonna do this, it's not gonna be you and Dane, it's gonna be you and me. Okay, talk to me. Already, like I said, it's so much action. It's so fast paced. Aside from that, we have the whole situation with Xaden. Obviously, Violet has not abandoned him. She won't leave his side. She's like, we're gonna figure this out. Hang tight because it's all gonna work itself out. And meanwhile, Xaden also is kind of like not willing to give her up. He's like, I know I should. I know that's the right thing to do to protect you, but like, I don't want to live without you. I don't want to give you up. So they're kind of both sticking by each other's side, which is great because the fear of Xaden pulling a whole, like, the only way to protect you is to leave, like that whole thing, I was not going to be a fan of that trope. So far, that's not happening, which is great. All of their friends are very worried about him and they keep like, you know, waiting outside their door in the morning to make sure like he didn't kill her or anything. Like they're being involved, which I understand, but at the same time, I love that Xaden and Violet are sticking by each other's side and like not at all floundering in their faith in their relationship, you know? And that's where we are so far. No major, obviously I'm only 10% in, so no major reveals have happened yet. No major plot points have happened yet. But I do think we're definitely going to get information on Andarna and her species. And I do think that that's going to be a majority of this book because it sounds like they're about to go off and like find Andarna's lineage, which, are they still alive or is she really the last one? Are there more of them? Are they hiding somewhere? Where are they? These are questions. So I think it'll be interesting because I hope we get, because of that, I hope we're going to get more world building. We're going to see more areas of this world that we haven't seen before. But so far, I just feel like in comparison to Iron Flame, where it was like business as usual, going to classes, like nothing major going on for like the entire part one, this feels much more thrilling, much more exciting, much more adrenaline pumping. So I'm off to a great start. I'm pleasantly surprised. Guess what just got here? It's only like 1:15. I know a lot of people had problems with Amazon pre-orders for this book. This might be the best job they've ever done for me personally. Like to deliver midday. I feel like normally my Amazon deliveries don't get here until like 8 o'clock at night. So this is pretty impressive. I'm so happy it's here because I might think about tabbing, which I don't do. For any of you who have been watching my videos long enough, you know I do not tab. But if this whole release has taught me anything, it's that being able to revisit key moments, key quotes, key people, key plot points when a book gets released in a series is very helpful. So we'll see. But I'm so happy I have it because now, oh nice, it got delivered with some tampons. Cool. Cool. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is this not the most stunning one we've gotten? Oh my god. She's like dusty. Like how long has she been sitting in a warehouse? Look at her. The back says, I will not die today. And then it's crossed out and it says, I will save him. Gorgeous. Love how shimmery this is. And like, come on, that is just, I know I saw the Target edition and everyone was freaking out over it and it's very cool, but I think this is also very cool. I'm fine with it. Ooh, so it's like light down here and dark. Oh my god. Got the map. Is there anything new? I don't think so. Okay, well now I can actually see where I am. 80 pages in. That's it. And this book is 530 pages. So we've got a ways to go. We do. We've got a ways to go, but now I have this beauty to keep me company. What else do I have to update you on? Not much. I'm still having a great time. I'm very entertained. Daddy Atos, I may actually hate him more than Jack Barlow. Hot take. This man is the worst. The worst. He just found out that Violet and all her little friends all just lowered the wards enough for the Aredians. I don't know how to pronounce any of these words. Just putting that out there. The Pomeranians, the Pomerish, whatever. They lowered the wards enough for them to be able to use their powers at Basgaia while maintaining the wards against the Venin. They did a fantastic job. It was technically treason. However, Violet had a very smart plan. So stupid Atos comes storming in the next morning and he's like, Violet Sorengale, you are on trial for treason and you're about to die and it's going to be a speedy trial and you're going to be put to death and blah, blah. He's such a fucking dick. Dane tries to stand up to him and is like, Father, and he's like, I have no son. Excuse me? Excuse me. Like, I'm not in the Dane fangirl club, but like, don't talk to your son like that. That's disgusting. What is with these parents that are so shitty in this book, in these books? So then Violet goes in front of she goes to the leaders and Atos is like, here she is, the person that did it. Are you going to put her to death? And they're like, you have no jurisdiction here. You can leave. You can get out, which amazing. Then they all say that they just signed a treaty allowing these riders, these flyers, to stay. So technically what they did was no longer treason. They just pardoned all of them. So she's like, oops, I guess I'm free to go then. It was great. It was an amazing moment. Also, Xaden is now a Duke of Tyrrendor. Like, it's kind of hot. It's kind of hot. They like reinstated his original title, also made him the Duke of Tyrrendor, the entirety. So he's now like one of the leaders. Also, Queen Mariah showed up and she is a baddie. I love her. I love her. She's a girl's girl. She came in, she's like, well, it looks like this girl did a really good job at fooling you all. Like, she is so on Violet's side and she's like, I've heard good things and I'm glad it wasn't all rumors. You are very cool. And she agrees to give Violet like full access to her archives and libraries because apparently they're even more extensive than the what was his name? The Viscount or whatever. They're even more extensive than that. So now she has access to that and that's all great. She leaves and Atos comes out of nowhere and he's like, I'm not gonna let this stand. Like, you're going to pay for what you've done. And they're like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, you don't get to decide this. I didn't do anything wrong. They pardoned me. It's over. You've lost. You've been trying to get to me forever now, and it's over. He has been chosen to replace Violet's mom as the commander, the general, which sucks. So then this asshole decides he's going to send Violet and all of Fourth Wing. He's like, fine, I might not be able to touch you or hurt you here, but I do have jurisdiction to send you to the front lines of war in order to learn your lesson. And he's like, every time you make a mistake, I'm gonna punish all of your friends. So he sends them all to the outpost in Samara to like go into battle. And he's like, it's pretty rough out there. Good luck. Like, hoping that they're all gonna die on the battlefield, which is like disgusting. These are freaking children, and like, why are we trying to murder children in the middle of a war? Children who are training to become soldiers who are going to fight by your side to defend you. I mean, it's just these parents, man. So they all get sent away. But luckily when they get there, it turns out that the fighting is actually over. They're like, I don't know what Atos's intel was, but it was incorrect because we've got nothing going on here. So they tell them to like get some sleep and then be helpful where they can. And the next morning they wake up and discover that one of the towns nearby where Marin's family is staying has just been attacked. And they take a vote and decide to go help, which is the right thing to do. And that's where I am. So they're about to go get into battle, even though they weren't gonna have to be in battle, but they're doing the right thing again. Saving the day again, a bunch of children again. I mean, not children, but like college kids, you know. I hate Atos more than I hate the Venin. And I might hate him more than Jack Barlow. I really do. He's disgusting. And I hope he has the fieriest, horrible end. I'm praying that he does, because he's gross. I just grabbed a Celsius so that we can keep our energy up today, and I'm gonna get back into reading. I'm 16% in. I have 11, what is my camera doing? I have 11 hours left, so moving right along. She's so cute. All right, y'all. See you when I see you. Y'all, even Google is playing along. When you type in Onyx Storm release, and then you hit this little dragon. Come on. Crazy. All right, back to the silver-haired Benin is here. This whole situation with Marin's family was a trap. She's here. She knew they were going to come, and she can wield lightning. She has to be related to Violet. She has to be. She has to be. But also, how can she wield lightning? Because Benin don't have signets, right? Right? But she does, because she just shot lightning. Also, Garrick showed up out of the blue. Like, out of the blue. His dragon and Taryn both, like, knocked themselves unconscious in this, like, crazy epic whatever. She's like, Garrick, why are you here? And he says that Xaden, when he found out that she was crossing the border, went crazy and sent Garrick to help her, protect her. And she's like, okay, it's like a 20-hour ride to Basgayath, and nobody knew we were crossing the border until about an hour ago. So how did you get here so quickly? And Garrick, like, pauses and freezes. Are we about to learn about a signet that he has that we didn't know about? Or, and I fucking hope this is not true, is he somehow a traitor? Is he somehow working with the Venin, and that's why he was there? I'm frightened. But also now the silver-haired Venin, like, has Garrick as leverage to get Violet to, like, talk to her. So, like, if he is working with the Venin, like, you would think she wouldn't be, like, threatening his life. Although maybe it's just trying to keep up appearances. I don't... All I'm saying is this silver-haired Venin, we just learned her name. What is her name? I'm gonna call her Theo. She has to be related. I wonder if she is... Could she be Lilith's sister? And, like, maybe she turned Venin a long time ago. And maybe when she turned Venin, it was around when Lilith was pregnant with Violet. And maybe whatever happened to Theo also affected Lilith's pregnancy. And that's why Violet has the same signet and also the same hair. Listen, these are just theories, but I have questions. And so far, no answers. False alarm. Garrick is not a traitor. Thank God. He's a walker. He can travel, it seems like, great distances in, like, teeny amounts of time. And it is the second signet, and it's secret. He's keeping it secret from everyone. That's exciting. Because she's like, the last time somebody wheeled distance and he cuts her off, but she helps him protect his secret. She, like, tells him, go now before the rest of the riot gets here, the rest of the squad gets here and, like, sees you. Your secret's safe with me. And he disappears. Fun stuff. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? And why is this recovered correspondence and cadet Violet Sorengale? She's still a cadet in his recovered correspondence. Why is she? I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. I'm about 30% in now. I'm having the best time ever. Like, I actually am pretty sure so far, 30%, that this book is my favorite out of the three. Like, hands down. We have Xaden now as a professor, which means that according to the code, they cannot be together. So we have this fun little, like, we're not allowed to be together, but we're gonna, like, whisper in each other's head every time we're in the same room thing going on, which is very cute, very flirty, very, like, you know, being kept apart, and, like, I can't get my mind off of you, and I wish I could touch you, I wish I could, like, be with you. This, like having to keep their distance, because not only is Atos, like, on them, if they break the code, he'll get rid of Xaden as professor, But also, he's got like all of the people that hate all of the rioters, the people that left, he's got all of them spying for him. So it's like a hot fucking mess. It's a hot mess. So they're like sneaking around. They're like not able to sleep in the same room and whatever, but like they're doing it all because like honestly, Xaden needs to be at Basgayath, and that's the only way he can do it because he was kicked out by Atos. And they were like, there's no reason for you to be here. Like, you're not in school anymore. You gotta go. Now he's back because he's professor, and they like have to keep it that way because when he was on the front line, he like accidentally channeled from the source. It's not good. It's not good. So I'm living for the whole like drama of them not being allowed to be together and they're like longing for each other is so delicious. It's so delicious because, like I said, I was so scared they were going to try and separate the two of them for this entire book, and in a way they have, but at the same time they're not separate. Like, they're still together. They're still in the same room. They're like battling each other because he's like teaching everyone how to use their signets in a battle, and he challenged like each person in the squad, and then he challenged Violet. It's very entertaining. Now we have a development. Prince Halden just showed up, and he is being a little flirt in front of Xaden. He is literally, he's like, I should have apologized to you for cheating on you. I'm sorry I never apologized. I'm gonna go with you on this mission. I'm wondering if you'd like have time to have dinner with me while we're there. And he goes to reach and touch her braid, and Xaden like explodes shadows across the arena, knocks him back, knocks the wind out of him. He just said, let's get 3 things straight. I have remarkable hearing thanks to shadows at your very feet. Second, I don't control Violet, never have, never will. But third, and most importantly, she really honestly hasn't thought about you, at least not since she set eyes on me. He is like staking his damn territory. He's like, stay the fuck away from her. Do not touch her. Unacceptable. It's delicious. It's so delicious. But also I'm scared. Like, I'm scared this is gonna become a thing. I don't think it will, but like, I'm scared. We got another camera battery, and so much is happening. I just finished chapter 20. First of all, the whole jealousy thing with Xaden and Halden. Chef's kiss. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm living, laughing, loving. He's so jealous. He's so jealous. He comes storming in the room and he's like, did you love him? Delicious, delicious, delicious writing. Also, we finally have our hands on Daddy Sorrengail's research. Finally. And I am convinced the whole key to this whole thing is in those pages. I'm convinced. I am convinced. It was locked up with like some code that was like, first love is big or something stupid like that. There's only one chance to enter the password. If she enters the wrong password, this like ink spills and like ruins all the pages. So she's trying to figure out what it is. Finally, she goes with her mom's dragon, that name, and it works. And she gets in, and there's a letter from her father to her, and it's like, if I'm not with you, if your mom's not with you, I'm so sorry, but this is all going to be on you. He's like, you're going to find in these pages my careful study of the Second Crowland Uprising, and I need you to go to De Valeri, which is one of the Southern Isles, which is exactly where Violet wanted to go to search for Andarna's kind. And he's sending her there. And he's told her to find this merchant to give this special artifact to them, and they would tell her everything she needed to know. She thinks this has to do with Andarna, but she also thinks it's possible it could have to do with the cure of the venom. Either way, I'm convinced this is it. This is it. So first they go on a mission to get the stupid artifact, and they have the stupid group that Grady cobbled together, which is just horrible. It includes Aurora, who already has tried to kill Violet once in this book. She's a pain in the ass. And it includes like all these people that don't know each other, and luckily Xaden's able to go, but like how much help can he be really with all that he's got going on? And they go to this place where the magic doesn't exist, so they can't wield. They're not supposed to wield. If they wield, people will know they're there. They'll draw attention, and they're trying to like sneak in, get the artifact, and sneak out. Of course, it goes wrong because Aura freaks out when she hears a sound, wields her fire magic, killing Grady. Oopsie. Oopsie. They like try to escape, and there's like wyvern in the sky, and Taryn's like, you're not safe, like they're coming for you. And they're like one by one, because the dragons don't fit in these streets because it's like not built for dragons. It's too narrow. So like one by one they can land in the square, but they can't fit more than one. So like one by one they're landing and the people are running away. Aura's dragon tries to land and Aura gets like ripped up, clawed up, and she dies. Oh well. Oh, so sad. Oh, so sad. The rest of them end up escaping. Xaden keeps his power in check because like he was trying to put out the fire because it turned into a fire in the entire town. Like every building was burning and he was trying to like put it out with his shadows, but like he was definitely burning himself out to the point where he would need to channel more power, and he stopped himself, thank God. So then they get back. They have to like give a presentation to all the executive people to tell them what happened and what the next plan is. So she walks in and Prince Halden is like, all right, so this is your new crew. Like, these are the people replacing who you lost. Violet was like, no. Violet was like, we're doing this my way now. I refuse to have another disastrous mission because my squad doesn't know each other and doesn't care about each other. So I'm taking my people and we're doing this. So she gets Riddick on the crew, which Riddick was like, please let me go, please let me go. He really wants to protect her, which is really sweet. He's like, we're better together. Like, bad things happen to you when one of us isn't there. So please let me. So that's very sweet. So Riddick is going to go. Mira is going to go. She insists on bringing Kat and Kat's cousin, Drake, who we just met, and I have a lot of questions. We'll get there. You know, the duchesses and dukes and everything in this room, they're like, we're not bringing Griffin riders. That's ridiculous. We're not allowing them in this. And she's like, oh, yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. Like, they're coming. She also includes Dane because he can speak Krabelish. I think that's how you say it, which is the second most common language in Deverelli. So he's going to be very useful. And then obviously Xaden. And is that it? I think that's it. It's like a great group. It's a great group. She basically just handed the prince his ass. Like, oh, and he's included too, which is going to lead to more deliciousness because he, her, and Xaden are all going to be on this mission together, and there's gonna be stuff happening. I can feel it. But she just like literally lost it on him. It was so good. She's like, you're gonna listen to me. We're not doing this your way anymore. Like, we're doing this my way. Oh, and then Markham tries to like interrupt and is like, we're not accepting this. This is unacceptable. And literally Violet, talk about violence, this girl. She goes, you don't speak. As far as I'm concerned, you have the credibility of a drunkard and the integrity of a rat. You dare complain about missing 6 years of information on Aretia when you've hidden centuries of our continent's history from the public. And Halden's brows like raise, like the prince is like, holy shit. And he's like, you can't speak to a superior officer like that. And she's like, I am not in your command. And then of course, Daddy Atos, dick that he is, has to get involved. He's like, you are in mine. And he says, I speak on the authority of Melgren. And literally Violet's like, I speak on the authority of Tairn and Darna and the Empyrean. Or did you forget the two dragons also lost their riders? Beautiful. And Halden's like, all right, sit down, Markham. Whatever. So Halden agrees. He's like, we'll give this one shot. If you fail, we'll assign a new commander. Refusing to continue will negate the terms of the second accord. So pressure, but no pressure. So then we get to the end of that chapter. First of all, something is going on with Mira and Drake because we have this new character. Mira shouts across the room, Drake Cordella? As in the Nightwing drift? And he gives my sister a charming yet cocky smile. You heard of me? And she goes, you were instrumental in bringing the wards down in the Montserrat offensive last year. And he's like, I was, with a grin. She knees him straight in the groin. Riddick's like, he's going down. He falls to his knees. Hysterical. And she's like, guess you've heard of me too. If you ever endanger my sister's life again, my blade will replace my knee. Got it? And he's like, all right, got it. I love it. I love it. Love it. And they're going to be in this mission together too. There's going to be so much deliciousness happening. And so this chapter ends with Violet saying, we could only be days away from having everything we need in Darna's family, a cure for Xaden, whatever it is my father wants me to retrieve from the merchant in Deverelli. The day after tomorrow can't come fast enough. That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm having the best time, but I'm also like, give me the answers. Give me all the answers right now. Right now. I will not rest until I have all these answers. And I feel like we're like on the brink, like on the brink of finding it all out. I have so many questions. I need to know Violet's signet. I have to know. I have to know what's up with Indarna, and I have to know that we are able to save Xaden and that they are endgame. Those are the requirements that I have at this point. We still got a long ways to go though, not gonna lie. Is it getting late? Perhaps. Is it 5 o'clock? Perhaps. Do I have to work in the morning? Perhaps. Will I be going to bed before I finish this book? Perhaps, but hopefully not, because I need answers. I need them. Oh. Xaden. He's even better in this book. He's even, because he's, you know, he's got the self-loathing going on now. He like doesn't trust himself, and he like knows that eventually he's gonna lose control, and like he has to stay away from like it's just delicious. Such good angst, such good broodiness and shadow daddiness. Ugh, I love it, I love it, I love it. At one point, their friends are making fun of them for like acting like an old married couple, and they're like, and it's always the same fight. Oh, you just need to tell me the truth and then I won't be mad at you. Oh, you need to stop putting your life on the line and then I won't be mad at you. Like they're like mimic, and it's so true, but it's so funny because they have the same fight over and over and over and over again, and I love it. Anyway, let's get back to it. Also, I've been using this ambiance. Can you see that? So this is supposed to be like the Viscount's house with all the pools. And I was using that because it was daytime. But let's see, maybe I'll use, what's this? Oh, this is pretty. Is this new? I didn't see this one yesterday. Maybe I'll switch to this one for now. And then later when it gets like really late, there's one with like rain happening, which of course now I can't find. But shout out to, oh, this one, Dark Music and Rain, Basgath, Roar College, that one. But yeah, shout out to this channel, crushing it. I've been enjoying this all day long. I don't remember the last thing I updated you on, but oh my god. Oh my god, okay. They went to Deverelli. They sent the prince off to meet with the king because only royalty are allowed in the palace. And then they went off to track down the merchant who had the thing that Violet's father wants her to find. Turns out it's a bunch of books that he wrote. This merchant is a bookseller, and she's been hiding these books for Violet for when she comes to collect them. She gave her a quiz to see if she was worthy, I guess. And they got the books and they got back to the hotel or wherever they're staying. Or I guess it's Takaris's like home they're staying in, like summer home or something. Xaden doesn't have, there's no magic, so Xaden doesn't have to worry about his venom powers overtaking him, consuming him, which means they got to have a spicy situation in chapter 25. Now, chapter 26, they had an issue. Apparently the king has decided he wants to keep the prince, which Xaden's like, that's fine, like leave him here, fuck him. But Violet's like, no, we have to go get him. And only royalty are allowed. Only people with titles are allowed in this kingdom, in this palace. So that means Xaden can go, because he's now a duke. But he brought Violet with him, and they're like questioning why he should be allowed to see the king. And he's like, I'm the Duke of Tyrandor. And they're like, well, what about her? And he's like, she's my consort. And Violet's like, what the fuck? Like, we're not engaged or married or anything. He's like, well, girlfriend doesn't seem permanent enough. And he's like, don't worry, like consort is used pretty loosely in Navarian aristocratic circles. So like, it's not that serious. Plus it gives you protection and privileges of my title. And she's like, I don't need protection and privileges. And he's like, ouch, never thought you'd reject me. And she's like, okay, it's not the time for this. This is not the time to be talking about merit. Like, this is not. And he just said, when would it be? The next look he gives me is 100% serious. She said, now's not the time to talk about marriage. And he was like, all right, when is? If that doesn't say their endgame, I don't know what will. I'm convinced. I have no more questions for the jury. Case closed. I'm almost halfway. There's so much more book. And I'm like, I'm really taking my time with this. Like, I'm rereading scenes. I did not read Iron Flame like this at all. Like, I was like, just trying to get through it. I'm like studying this like it's a fucking textbook. I'm like looking for clues. I'm taking my sweet time, which is why it's taking me all day. And I don't care. I don't care because I'm having the best time. I don't want it to end. He wants to marry her? I can't. Okay, I can't. I have new theories. Something is going on with Mira, and I don't like it. I don't like it. She's very protective of Violet, and I think that's lovely and wonderful. She is sus. Something is going on. She just, after they got back from Devrelli, she took a personal leave of absence. To do what? To go where? It could be something as simple as like she has a lover somewhere or something, but I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust her. I'm questioning it. She's just sus. Okay, so now they are off on their mission to go and look for Andarna's kind. They were supposed to go to each island and then report back to the council, but they're not going to do that because they're like, there's no way we can get this done in the time we need if we're flying back and forth to report back. We're not doing that. So they took off for Umbriel, but they're not planning on going back till they find what they're looking for. They were planning on taking Halden because they needed a royal, because some of these islands are not going to be friendly to anyone but royalty, right? And he's such a liability. He got them totally screwed at Devrelli. He went off plan, off base, and totally screwed them over to the point where they all almost died. Xaden had to use his power. It was a whole thing. I don't know how he was able to use his power in a place with no magic, but he was, and it was the whole Venom thing and the red eyes, and he disappeared. Now his eyes aren't turning back to gold. They're like still amber a little bit, so the timeline is tightening. He's a liability. So sweet baby Eric reveals himself. He comes out of nowhere with his dragon and with Dane while they're about to leave, and Halden is like getting in a fight with Xaden, and like they're like squaring off with each other, and Eric just like comes out of the mist and he's like, you won't be needing that basket after all. I'm gonna be going. And Halden's like, what the fuck? We've been looking for you everywhere in like brothels and stuff. And he's like, well, that's your first mistake. You looked where you would be, not where I would be. I'm sick of not doing anything, standing by and letting these dark wielders destroy our continent. So I crossed the parapet. And I'm a rider, and you can go because I'm going to be the royal on this mission. It was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful moment. I loved it. I love him. I think he is the sweetest, kindest, and he's going to be so much better at like diplomacy and negotiations, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, so now they're at this first island. Mira's like rotating this beaded bracelet and like just like making random comments that just something is sus. Something is going on with Mira. I feel it. Just like I feel like something's going on with Riddick. There's something he's not telling us. The way he's like obsessed with sticking by Violet's side, it's sweet, and it like could just be out of the kindness of his heart that he like wants to protect her, but like something more is there, I think. Also, she just in the last chapter asked Bodhi what his second signet is, and he was like, I don't have one. She was like, you don't have one, or you don't have one that you're willing to tell me. And he's like, just like Xaden, I don't have one. So obviously he does. And obviously we're going to learn that. It seems like everyone that's like a marked one has a second signet. Like everyone, which is interesting. And we know Garrick's. He's like the walker, really fast. I wonder what Bodhi's is. Also, there's so much more going on with Violet getting into Xaden's brain without quotations, without italics, which is how they use the bond. And every time it happens, she's like, maybe his intrinsic abilities are getting stronger because like that wasn't through the bond. No, it's her. It's fucking her. I know it. I know it. I know it with every part of my being. It is her. She is doing that. She doesn't realize she's doing that, but she is doing that, and it has to do with her second signet. I can feel it. I can feel it. Also, I have a little bit of confusion. Like this whole big reveal happened that the Venin have signets. Like it was a whole big like announcement to the whole war college. But like if Venin are all like people that use too much power, isn't there a chance that some of those people already had signets and would keep them? Like Xaden, right? Xaden has 2 signets and they both still work even though he's turning. So why is it surprising that Venin can use signet? I don't understand that. Does anyone understand that? I don't understand that. Maybe we'll get answers. Also, one more confusion. We have all these books now from Violet's dad, and of course they're not getting to that as quickly as I would like. I'm like, don't worry about the mission, just like sit there and read every single book. What are you doing? But whatever. But in the epigraph, in the last 2 chapters, I'm on chapter 29 in the last two. It has been about Umbriel, which is one of the islands that they're about to explore. And apparently it's a pretty vicious isle. So the last one said, there are times I look at the parapet at the very act of threshing and marvel that dragons have not been to Umbriel. What we call treacherous is their idea of primary school. And this was written by Second Lieutenant Asher Daxton. And then chapter 29. In a culture that worships the goddess of war exclusively, blood is the preferred sacrifice and cowardice is the ultimate sin. Umbriel, Isle of Doon by Second Lieutenant Asher Daxton. Violet's father's name is Asher. There have been other chapters that start with quotes from Lieutenant Colonel Asher Sorengale. There's no way that they're not the same person. There's no way that like Rebecca Yarros just like ran out of names and was like, oh, we'll just use another Asher. There's no way. There's no way. So is Asher Daxton actually her dad's name? Have we seen the name Daxton before and I don't remember? And if that's actually her dad's name and Sorengale is her mom's maiden name, I don't know what that means. But it's curious. It is curious. Or maybe he just has a bunch of different names that he's been writing these books in case they get into the wrong hands, so that it can't get traced back to him and the Sorengales and his family. I don't know. I have questions. 6 more hours. I got my answer 2 seconds later. I should have just literally turned the page. She reveals to Violet. Violet asks her, where'd you go for leave? And she says, I went to visit grandmother. And Violet's like, Grandma's dead. And she's like, no, our other grandmother. Grandma Niara, which is her father's mother. And she's like, wait, but they don't talk. And they always thought that grandmother stopped talking to the family because like her dad married her mom or something. They didn't really know. Turns out it was the other way around, according to Mira. And she's like, well, what else did you learn? And Mira's like, you should go talk to her yourself. Which like, just answer the question. Why are you being difficult? She doesn't have time to go. We're in the middle of a mission. Just tell her what you know. But of course she doesn't. She doesn't tell her shit. Something is up. I know the books that her father left were for Violet specifically, and I know that's bothering Mira. Mira's like, I was going to help carry them. Is that going to be a problem? Or is Violet the only one allowed to touch them? The merchant that they were left with was like, Mira, everyone has a role to play. This is Violet's. Yours is different. You trained with your mother. You have a different role to play. But I think Mira is not secretly, but I think deep down, she's very hurt that her father left these books only for Violet. And so Violet just offered a peace offering to try to get information on the grandmother. And also just to be kind, she was like, hey, if you want to read the books, like I brought them for you to read. She totally blew her off. And was like, nope, I'm good. They're for you only, blah, blah, blah. But she does ask if this grandma knew what their father was up to, studying all these isles, and if she knew why. And Mira's like, yeah, she knew, but he left the books to you alone. There's more to it. There's more. There's definitely more, which we all knew there was something going on with Violet's dad. I'm still not convinced he's dead. But if it has to do with his family, or if this grandmother has answers about Violet, why she's silver-haired, maybe. Why she's bonded to 2 dragons, why she's so special, maybe. Just a theory, but she knows something. And also, I feel like Mira definitely knows something, and I feel like Mira is still acting sus. Like, I know she revealed where she went. I don't care. It's still sus. It is. Xaden's mom has entered the chat. I'm so excited. Her dark brown eyes settle on Xaden immediately, and they flare in blatant, palpable shock. Is there a problem? She studies Xaden with a desperate intensity that puts us firmly in awkward territory, and Xaden must feel the same, given that he's practically petrified into a piece of stone. Oh shit, Garrick's face drains of color. Xaden? Talia whispers, lifting her hand, then quickly dropping it. Is it really you? My eyebrows hit my fucking hairline. Xaden reaches across me and wraps his hand over my hip like I need protection. Mom. They're in the Isle of Hedion? So she's been in the Isle of Hedion all along? Oof. I can't believe how much we're being fed. Thank you, Rebecca. You're giving us all the things we want in this book. Like, we're getting it all. We're getting it all. She is feeding us. We did it. They did it. They found the Irids. There's 6 of them. And they can talk to Violet. They're not bonded to her, but they're in her head. They're like, hello, human, and she doesn't answer right away. They're like, why don't you answer me? And another one of them is like, perhaps the human female lacks intelligence. We found Andarna's family. I was starting to get scared that they were like all dead. Like it was gonna be revealed that like they found the location where they're from, but like they were wiped out by something. We found them. This book is so fucking good. This is what I wanted from this series. Like, this is what I wanted from day one. I saw the potential. I saw it in Fourth Wing, but I was like, something's missing. I saw it in Iron Flame, the latter half. But this, I knew we were headed somewhere amazing. I knew she was capable. I knew she was building up to something. This book is everything. We are getting so much information. We are getting to explore this entire world, all of these islands, and we're exploring along with them because they don't even know anything about any of these islands. So they're landing on one after another and meeting the people and understanding and learning their customs, and they're going through almost like trials at everyone. So clearly the Deverelli king warned everyone that they were going to be coming. So everyone was prepared for them. So they went from island to island, and each time they land, the island people like fuck with them. So like the one with Xaden's mom, the triumvirate like poison them or try to. The only one that eats it is Garrick. And then she, because Violet's a plotter, a schemer, she gets them right back. And she's like, fuck you, we're leaving. But it was all like a test, right? Jerks. Then they go to this other island they just left. This island where it's like the god of luck that they honor, and so they were like, we're gonna give you gifts and we'll see how if luck is on your side, and if you pass this test, we're gonna assist you in your war. We'll send you as many troops as you want. We'll be allies. It's gonna be great. We're so excited to have you here. All you have to do is receive a gift and not complain. You have to just take the gift and not complain. And they each take turns flipping these cards that almost sounded like tarot cards or something. Mira gets a bottle of wine, but then like somebody else gets like a rusty bucket. Xaden gets like an empty glass box. And then Violet gets a compass, which is black, and the guy that hands it to her looked at her very sus, and he was like, use this wisely. So like that compass is gonna come into play at some point, obviously, but she has no idea. She's like, it's not working, it's not pointing north, like this is a broken compass. And Xaden's like, you can put it in my empty box, we'll put it on our nightstand. Like, I shouldn't be laughing because this was a really sad part. Traeger, sweet Traeger, finally gets to be at the start of a relationship with Kat. He's been pining after her for years, and they see them like walking on the beach together at Xaden's mom's island, and we're so happy for him. And then at this next island, his gift is an arrow, and before anyone can do anything, there's an arrow in his heart, and he's dead. He's dead. And they're not allowed to react. They can't complain. They can't do anything. Violet had to like stoically get herself together enough to step forward and say thank you for killing her friend. And because Traeger died, his griffin died. So fucking sad. Like devastating. So Kat was like, we're not burying them here. We need to burn them like somewhere else. So they go to an empty island, like a uninhabited empty island, and they're looking at the map and they're like, this isn't even on our map. Like this is not, something's off here. This is not on our map, which obviously there's lots of islands, it seems, that are not on the map. So I don't know who made the map, but they're wrong. So they decide to split up and explore each island, go off in pairs, and like go in different directions and try to fly over as many islands as humanly possible to see if there's any sign anywhere of the Irids, because they're running out of time. They're running out of time and they're running out of islands, and so everyone flies off, and Violet's just like sitting there with Andarna, and all of a sudden there's these giant claw prints in the sand, and then like all of these dragons with different like shimmering colors come into play, and they're like, hello human. I'm so excited. But also, like, what is their like last 30% gonna contain? Like, we've already gotten so much story, so much plot, so much development, so much world building that like I don't even know where it's going. I don't even know. And we have 2 more books, so like we're getting so much right now. Like, how can we possibly have 2 more books? I have questions. I have questions. I'm devastated by our first casualty. I'm not gonna lie. But thank God it wasn't Garrick, because for a second, when Garrick got poisoned, I thought it was gonna be him. And then Violet rushes into the kitchen to try and figure out what the poison was, because the asshole that did it won't tell them. And Riddick follows her, and then the stupid chef throws a knife and it like lands in Riddick. And for like the briefest moment, she and I thought he was a goner. And she was like, no, not Riddick, not Riddick. I'm starting to think that there's like something there. I have fear, but I'm starting to think there's something there. But it turns out he was fine. Anyway, I have 4 more hours. I really should stop. If I was a smart girl, I would stop. Like, I feel like there's like a permanent indentation in this couch from me sitting here all day, like literally all day. I've been here for like 9 hours, but I can't stop right now. So we're gonna keep going. For now, we're gonna keep going. Ugh. Oh my God, okay. I wanna find out about Darna. Oh look, it's my face again. Same place, same position, haven't moved. I have moved, actually. Made a little midnight mac and cheese because we're doing this. I've decided we're committed. We're doing this. We're going all the way. 2.5 hours left. So we're doing it. Will I regret it tomorrow? Absolutely. But I have to. I don't even know the last thing I said. They found Darna's family. That was really heartbreaking. It was really hard to watch. They start asking Darna questions about like, why does her tail look like that, and why is her wing a little bit off, and why is she like saying that this human is hers, and why is Taryn also like getting involved, and like Taryn does like get mad when they're kind of like quizzing her, and she's like, don't ruin this for me, because she like really wants to make a good impression because she finally found her own kind. This has like been her dream since the beginning of the book. So she tells the whole story, and she's like, and then this happened, and then I jumped into battle, and then Violet was able to stop time using my magic, and then like she tells the whole story like she's so proud and she's so excited. And these dragons are just like watching this, and everyone can tell like it's not going well except Darna. And by the end, she's like, did I pass? Did I pass the test? And they're like, you didn't do anything wrong. It's her. And they point to Violet. They're like, how could you bond with an adolescent dragon? How could you do that? And she was like, I didn't know, whatever. They figure it out right away. They're like, you're the Criterion, not the movie franchise. She's the Criterion. So they left her behind to test humanity, because they're a peaceful dragon group. They don't believe in war and violence and using their magic for those things. They basically left Darna behind, and they figured if she comes back and says like everything is peaceful and I learned to use my magic for this purpose and everything's great, it would show them that humankind has like over time saved themselves from this like violent nature that they have. And clearly they haven't, because they're currently at war. They're asking them to go join them in war, and they're bonding with the humans and fighting them, and they're like, Darna, you were turned into a weapon. They're using you as a weapon. And she's like, I'm not a weapon. Like, Violet loves me. I'm happy to do it. And they're pissed. They're like, sorry, looks like humanity is past saving. We're not interested in a relationship with you. We're not interested in helping your cause. And we're not going to tell you where we live or how to get there. Goodbye. Also, while all this is going on, Xaden gets back. He has red-rimmed eyes, and one of the dragons sees it and is like, you're an abomination. How could you bond with these people? How could you work with someone like him? And Riddick sees. So Riddick knows that Xaden is Venom, and Violet takes him like off into the woods to like explain the whole thing, and Riddick's like, I thought we like agreed no more secrets the last time. And he makes Violet basically give a line. He's like, what is the line that if he crosses it, no questions asked, I turn him in, it's done? What is the line? Is it him, channeling for a third time? Is it him hurting a rider? Is it him hurting your dragon? Like, what if he hurts Darna? What if he hurts Taryn? And she basically is like, if he hurts any rider or civilian or dragon. And then she's like, if he hurts me, he's no longer him. And Riddick's like, fine, I won't say anything, but we have that line as an agreement. Then he also makes them agree to tell Sawyer, Rhiannon, and Jessenia, because he's like, everyone that knows right now is Xaden's friend on Xaden's side, right? Because we have like Imogen, Brody, Garrick, like they're all Xaden's people. So Riddick is like, nobody has your best interest in heart, even though like all of them have been basically telling Violet to get away from Xaden this whole time. So they definitely do care, but he's like, no, you're telling your people, or I'm telling everyone. So basically the mission failed. They're devastated. They go back to Basgaya and back to like class. Like, it's like, I guess we just go back to class as usual, which is just so beyond me. But they go to the like battle briefing, and they find out that the capital of Pomorial, they find out that it was overtaken by Venom, and that Queen Malaria is dead, which we barely got any of her. She was so wonderful and we barely got to see her, and that's so sad. Also, there's a letter waiting for her when she gets back from Theo, the silver-haired venom. She's like, did you have fun on your trip? Like, I saw you guys flying over. You looked a little tired. I don't know why you're like going all over the place when I have what you're looking for. Can't wait to see you next. I'll set it up, don't worry. So they're going to have a confrontation. They're going to have a face-to-face. I wonder if that's how she's going to find out about her second signet. And I wonder if she's going to find out if she has some relation to this Theo person. And while they were with Andarna's family, they were like, you gave her your gift. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, I haven't channeled a second signet yet. And I thought they were going to reveal it right then. I almost turned the camera on, but then they didn't. But it's got to be coming. Right? 25% left. Let's do this. Hello. Remember me? So the last time I talked to you, I think my last words were, we're in it for the long haul. We're going to finish this book tonight. So obviously that didn't happen. I fell asleep. I truly thought I was going to be able to do this. I was like, it's 2 more hours. We've got this. It'll be fine. The next thing I know, I wake up on my couch with my Kindle fell over with the pillow thing, like fell onto my chest. Light's still on. I have no idea where I am. I'm discombobulated, and it was like 5 in the morning. So we didn't finish. Okay, I had to go to work this morning. I just got home and it's time to finish this book, which I have 100 pages left. I'm on chapter 51. The worst part is when I woke up this morning, for a minute, I was like, did I learn about Violet's signet? Her second signet? But like for the life of me, I could not remember the reveal, but I was like, I feel like I know what her second signet is. I feel like I know what it is, but I don't remember if I actually read this or if I'm making this up. Did I dream this? Convinced myself that I dreamed it. Like fully convinced that I would remember if it was revealed. I would remember, even if I was like drifting off to sleep, I would remember. No, I did. I read it. I read the whole chapter apparently, in my like dozing. She's a dream walker. I was right-ish because I knew she was intrinsic. I had a feeling, whatever it was going to be dangerous and something that she could be put to death over. Now, I do still have questions because that's all well and good. She can walk in dreams and whatever. Why is she also being able to get into others' heads? Specifically, Xaden. Their whole like bond situation when she somehow jumps into his head when they're like doing the nasty. And she's like, oh, maybe he's expanding his intrinsic abilities. I don't buy that. I don't buy it. I feel like there's something more to do with her. But it's so interesting. And then I love how Andarna's like, yeah, like you had to figure it out for yourself. And Taryn's like, you didn't tell her? And she's like, well, you didn't tell her that you could make lightning. So why did I have to tell her? Sassy little girl. So that was my first thought when I woke up this morning. My second thought is I just can't get over how sad I am for Andarna. Obviously, I don't think this is the last that we saw of the Irids, but like she was so excited to finally have a place that she belongs, to have a family, to have that comfort. And the fact that like they rejected her and made her feel less than, even if they were like, it's not your fault, it's Violet's fault, like the fact that they made her feel like she was wrong or different or didn't fit in or not good enough for them is just bullshit. Okay, Andarna deserves the world, and I need that to be rectified. I don't know if it's going to be rectified in this book, but like, I'm just so sad for her. I'm so sad for her. Those are my 2 thoughts waking up this morning. And obviously then I was like, okay, I need to get back into it. I did reread the reading about the signet thing. I reread that chapter. So now we're on 51. We have 100 pages to go. I'm ready. I was gonna read it at work, but I was like, then I won't be able to update you if anything happens. And with like the last 100 pages, I feel like something is gonna happen. I'm scared because the way that chapter ended, they're under attack. So she figured out what she could do and now they're under attack, which with 100 pages left, like I keep going back to like the end of Iron Flame and like the big battle in Iron Flame at Basgayath. Like, is this the big end battle, because if that's the case, 100 pages, that's a long battle. It's a long battle. So, but if it's not, then what is the end gonna be? The only way to find out is to read. So I'm gonna read. Telling you right now though, and I solidified this, I was sending voice memos to my cousin this morning because I went dark yesterday. I put my phone away so that I wouldn't be tempted to like go on socials and God forbid see a spoiler. I put it fully away, and my cousin is like 100 pages from the end of Iron Flame, so she hasn't read this yet. So I sent her very brief, non-spoilery thoughts about this book, but it solidified how I feel about this book. Now, obviously I'm not done, but I'm telling you right now, this is a 5-star book. I don't see any possibility of that changing. This is, well, we'll talk about it at the end, but this is everything that I wanted from this series. Rebecca knocked it out of the park. We finally, I feel like, are in a place where I can truthfully look at this series and go, yep, I'm 100,000 million jillion% in. That being said, if she breaks my heart in the next 100 pages, we will be reassessing. I'm going to sit down, probably in the exact same place I was yesterday, and we're gonna finish this out. Let's do it. Guys. The Irids are back. The one that looks like Andarna. Do you think they're related? His name is Leothan. You go, Violet. There is nothing wrong with her. We can never thank you enough for what you've done tonight in firing our wards. But if you've only come to point out all the ways you believe her to be lacking, you'll find Fierge's greeting warmer than mine. He is her family. Oh, it did not sit well with me that you were judged by the shortcomings of others. True. You should be given the chance to learn our ways, to choose our ways. He wants her to break the bond so that she can go home and train with him. Ooh, only an Irid can bond with a human that already is bonded with a dragon. That's interesting. Break the connection and come with me. She says, I love you and I want you to feel complete. I want you happy and safe and thriving. I want you to live, even if it's not with me. Why do I feel like they're breaking up? Oh, God. Poor Violet. I mean, I'm happy for Andarna, and I know she'll come back. Like, she will. She'll come back. But losing a bond with your dragon, isn't that supposed to be incredibly painful? And, like, Violet has to suffer that now. Oh my God, that was so sad. I'm happy for Andarna, but I'm also devastated for Violet. Look at this. I don't leave our room for the next 3 days. I barely leave our bed. Yep. Okay. This is the beginning of the end, guys. I can feel it. I can feel chapter 51. No, 61. Shit is hitting the fan. First of all, we found out why everyone keeps like hinting at Violet having something to do with the Temple of Dune. Her parents, or I guess her father, brought her there to try and fix her, which is so fucked up. Like, I guess people bring their children to the temple like if they need help gaining strength or getting stronger or something. So I guess they thought that was the answer for Violet's like physical issues. And that's why she has the hair. That's why when she was at the temple, they all had the same hair as her. That's why she has the same hair as this lightning wielder Venin girl, because that girl also used to, or at one point was dedicated to the temple. And I guess they never went through with it, but that is also the reason why her grandmother stopped talking to her parents, like refused, disowned them. So that's all insane. We find all that out from Mira. Her and Brennan get into a huge fight, and Violet, honestly, and then Mira finds out about Xaden being Venin because there's a prophecy or something that if she chose the wrong path, that the heart that beats for her was going to turn Venin, and she thought that meant Violet, but Xaden was like, nope, that's me. My heart beats for her, and I'm turning Venin. So she was furious, especially because they didn't tell her, and she stormed off. She left. She was like, I'm leaving, and she left. And then, of course, she gets kidnapped, her and her dragon, by the stupid silver-haired lightning wielder Venin girl, Theo. And they have to make a decision because there's attacks going on at the pass, there's attacks going on at this like city entrance, and they want to save Mira, and they're having to figure out like where to go and who to send where, because they can't do it all at once. So Violet agrees to go to Theo because she said, if you come, your sister lives, you and Jack. Or she says Xaden's brother, which is Jack, I guess. I don't really see that, but okay. And then like all this shit happens. The dragon, Mira's dragon, Tierney, is like not moving, not waking up. Also, Theo slits Mira's throat and she's like on the brink of death. And then Sloane and Dane show up. And Sloane shows up because she has something for Violet that Eric gave her, which that's another thing. Before the last battle where she was at the temple and right before Andarna left, Arik said, like pulled her aside before they left and said, you need to protect the Temple of Dune. That's the way you win this battle. So he knows something, like something is up, he knows something. Now he's sent Sloane all the way out in the middle of all of this with something to give to Violet that apparently she needs. And the stupid girl is not looking to see what it is and not looking into it. She's like, oh, I have to talk to Eric later when we're not busy. But like, maybe it's something you need right now, don't you think? Like Eric isn't a stupid person, right? Anyway, Sloane and Dane show up. Sloane siphons from Dane to help Brennan heal Mira because it's like a fatal blow. And they're somehow able to do it. She's like not doing well, but like she's not dying. Brennan leaves and takes her. Xaden leaves to go to the Battle of the Wyvern and the other place where shit's popping off. And now it's just Bodhi and Violet waiting for Theo. Theo shows up and she realizes Theo doesn't control lightning. She controls the wind. She controls the storm. She is just like Violet's mom. Violet was completely unprepared to be able to battle her and was like, I can't win this, but I can't leave because she'll just follow me, and that me staying here will give everyone else time to like do what they need to do. She makes Bodhi leave, or Bodhi's dragon, not honestly, like drags him away. And then she like starts hand-to-hand combat with Theo, which is crazy. And Theo's like, I just need you to channel. All you have to do is channel. Just channel from the ground. Just do it. And all of this ends. It's all over. I'll take you with me. I'm going to train you, blah, blah, blah. She keeps saying he, him. So again, we're talking about this like big bad that nobody will name, which is driving me nuts, that I still think could be Violet's dad. Hear me out. We never thought he would try to fix Violet, so clearly we don't know a lot about him, okay? Also, every time someone shows up in the middle of a battle, I'm convinced we're gonna find out they're a traitor. Like, I feel like there's obviously somebody is a traitor, or somebody is Venom, somebody in their inner circle is like feeding information. Like, there has to be. And every time someone shows up, like when Dane just showed up, I'm like, here we go, Dane is a traitor. But he wasn't. But like every time, then like she's left alone with Bodhi, I'm like, okay, Bodhi's a traitor. Like, I'm not doing well. The reason I turned my camera on, because I was trying to find a good place to stop, because like so much was happening, but I also was like, I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. But I just switched to, flipped to chapter 61. It's from Rhiannon's perspective. Why? What do you mean? We've been in Violet's head this entire book. Suddenly now we're in Rhiannon's head? I'm hoping this is just to show what's going on at the pass, and not because something's wrong with Violet. I have 8% left. I don't even know how many pages that equates to. Oh my god. Okay. I have like 30 pages left. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Should I just leave the camera on? Like, I'm scared. What if something happens about that? Okay, let's do this. I swear to God, if something happens to Riddick. Okay, we're back with Violet. And the epigraph is about Dune. There is no goddess more wrathful than Dune. Entering her temple will slice the soul from any attendant who has shunned her grace. This is like the key to everything. I know it. I feel it. I'm scared. I don't want... Okay. Here's what I'm worried about. Theo took Mira hostage in order to get Violet's attention and to get Violet to show up and come to her. I was like, fine. I'm willing to sacrifice Mira. Never really loved her, honestly. She's been keeping too many secrets. Would break my heart for Violet to lose her, just like it broke my heart for Violet to lose her mom, but like, I'd be okay with it. But I was like, that is the only way I can see Violet turning or siding with them in any way, is if they threaten someone. Then she's immediately gonna sacrifice herself. And now that Mira's fine, I'm scared. I'm terrified that it's going to come down to Xaden. They're going to know that Xaden is her weakness. They're going to hold him in some way that will make her think, if she doesn't agree to their terms, that they're going to do something to him. Irreparable. My heart can't take this. I feel like my feelings are going to get hurt. Sigale just showed up to save the day. And Sigale goes, "You are an inconvenience for which there is no adequate measure. But you have done an excellent job keeping the Maven occupied." Okay, and now Tyrn is here. And she's going back to Xaden. Oh my god, the reinforcements came from Zelina, where they lost Traeger, but they gained an alliance. It's about damn time. Okay, now we're in Imogen's point of view. This is crazy. We made it a good one. Why does this feel like the Battle of Hogwarts? I think just because it feels so hopeless. Like, they're so outnumbered. Listen to this. This is recovered correspondence from High Priestess Deservi to His Royal Highness Cadet Eric Greycastle. I knew this was the key to the whole thing. It says, "A gift from one servant of Dune to another. I must warn you, only those touched by the gods should wield their wrath. I will pray to God that she need not use it in order to avoid reacquainting herself with the other who curries her favor. Her path is not set," which is what the temple people said. Finally, she's looking at Aric's package. It says, "For when you lose yours, strike in the dark violet." Arik is a fucking precog. That's why he told her to protect the temple. And that's why he just sent her this gift that he knew she would need, which was a dagger for when she loses hers, because he knew she was going to lose hers. Holy shit. Because we haven't known what his signet is this whole time. And the dagger is a fractured piece of the temple that Theo can't step inside. But also, things are not going well because Xaden is channeling, because the entire place just went dark with shadow. And he's powerful, but he's not that powerful. And darn. Yes! She stabbed her, and she's shocked that it worked. She's like, "Stone doesn't kill Venin." Well, you were never just Venin. Dune is a wrathful goddess to high priestesses who turn their backs on her. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye, Theo. So sad. Okay, bye. I can't believe Indarna's back. Oh god. Oh god, this chapter is from Xaden's point of view. Who? My sage has another sibling he can use against me. Who? I glance past Bearwyn, past Sigale, and the Venin to my new brother and the unconscious dragon lying in the valley beyond the cannon, guarded by 7 wyvern. How could he do this? Choose this after watching me stumble and fall over the last 5 months. It has to be Bodhi or Garrick, right? Panchak is the traitor. Okay, I knew there was one. They're threatening Sigale to get Xaden a turn. And it's working. He keeps saying my new brother. Who? The epigraph on this chapter, the last chapter. While cadets are strongly encouraged not to form romantic attachments while studying in the quadrant, lieutenants are permitted to marry whoever they choose upon graduation. Why would we include that? Why? There's dragon eggs missing. Garrick is missing too. It has to be Garrick, right? Xaden's brother that turned Venin, it has to be. My left arm is splinted and a beautiful gold ring with an emerald the size of my thumbnail sits on my hand. I know that stone. It matches the others from the blade from Horatia upstairs on Xaden's nightstand. And she has no memory. And she has a scroll. It's an official blessing of your legal binding marriage by the head priestess of Dune's temple. Okay, so they're married? And then there's 2 sentences written by Xaden. Don't look for me. It's yours now. He's gone. I need to go back. Okay, I need to stare off into the abyss for a while. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back tomorrow and give you my final thoughts after I process. But I can tell you right now, 5 stars, 6 stars, 10 stars, 12 stars, all the stars. I'm not well. It is time to talk about my final thoughts for this book. It's actually like a week later. I have been contemplating closing this video out for a week now. I've been trying to gather my thoughts. I took notes. I have notes here, okay? I wanted to make sure that I wasn't gonna be like a jumbled hot mess, that I really took the time to flesh out all my thoughts. And I've also been doing a little bit of editing on this video. So I've edited like the first 4 or 5 clips. I cannot tell you how entertaining it is to me, how terribly wrong I was about so many of my theories, so many of my questions and my fears and my suspicions of so many characters were just so, and I think that just right there says it all. That I couldn't have guessed what was gonna happen in this book. If I was a betting woman, I would have gotten it all wrong. And that just goes to show how brilliant this book was. This leveled up this world. It elevated it to such a level that Fourth Wing, who is she? Iron Flame, we don't know her. It's leagues better than both of those books. That's not to say that there's not incredible character and plot going on in the first 2, but this just leveled up in a way that I was not expecting. I hoped that I was going to enjoy this more than Iron Flame. The bar was fairly low because Iron Flame was a bit of a letdown for me and I think for many people. So I went into this with a little bit less expectation than I did for that one. I think that served me incredibly well because this book, it stands on its own. This has expanded the world, it's expanded the characters, it's expanded the plot, it's brought this entire story into such a different high fantasy area that I didn't think we were going to reach in this series. I will be honest with you. Obviously, I loved Fourth Wing. I think we all did. It's romantic and it's cute and it's fun and it's entertaining. Is it the best writing in the world? No, but it's so entertaining. And I think Fourth Wing made me feel like this series could be something special. Iron Flame, I will say, had me worried. It had me worried, it had me questioning. I think if this book had gone in a similar direction to Iron Flame, this might have been the end of the road for me reading this series. But not only did it exceed my expectations, this was my favorite book I read this month. This was my favorite book that I've read in this series. I can't even imagine where we are going next, which excites me even more. I cannot speak highly enough of this book. I think she did such an incredible job expanding on the world, bringing us into new and exciting territory. Guys, do you know what this book did? This book made me purchase tabs. I've never in my life tabbed a book for pleasure. Ever in my life. And I now feel like a damn detective. I want to go back and reread Fourth Wing. I want to reread Iron Flame and I want to read this and I want to tab the heck out of all of them and find all of the missing pieces that I didn't see the first time, the second time, the third time. I've read Fourth Wing twice, 3 times now, and I still feel like I wasn't prepared for this world. I was not prepared for this book, and I think that just shows how incredibly elevated this is. So 2025 Charlie is in her tabbing era now. I have not tabbed this yet because like I said, I want to go back and tab the other 2 books first, and I really want to do a deep dive of all 3 books. But I can't get enough of this. I can't stop thinking about it. It hasn't put me in a slump. It's made me want to read more. But every time I'm reading anything now, I'm just comparing it to this, and I'm just wishing I was back in this world. I am lucky enough to have my cousin reading this at the same time. So I'm living a little bit vicariously through her. So I'm still getting to sort of live in this world and talk about these characters every single day, which has made saying goodbye to this book a little bit easier. It's like a slower transition, but oh my God. So needless to say, this is a 6-star book for me, and this series is getting up there with my elite level series that I've read in my life. I knew this was going to be exciting, but I did not know it was going to be this exciting. I can't lie. Let me grab my phone because I have notes. Let's talk about some of my thoughts and feelings and theories now that I've finished reading, okay? First of all, I'll tell you, I reread the last probably 4 or 5 chapters at least 6 times. Ooh. And I have questions, and I have theories, okay? So we will get into that. First of all, the fact that we got multiple points of view toward the end of the book, the fact that we got Imogen and Rhiannon, did not see that coming at all. And it leads me to a bit of suspicion. Let me know what you think about this. Do we think that book 4 is going to have multiple points of view? I could see that. I could see that happening. I think certainly we will get Xaden's point of view, and I think possibly we will get more than just one chapter from Xaden's point of view, specifically because of the way we ended Onyx Storm. They're going to be separated for at least the beginning, if not the entire book. And I could see them be separated the entire book. So I'm really curious to see if we are going to get 2 different points of view, and then maybe even more. Are we going to get whoever Xaden's new brother, their point of view to see what is going on with Xaden? I don't know. I'm really excited to see Xaden sort of infiltrate the Venin team, league, crew, the bad guy layer. I'm really curious to see. I obviously didn't want him to go full Venin. I don't think any of us did, but the fact that he did, I think, gives us a really delicious opportunity to see him sort of infiltrate from the inside and sort of find a way to take them down within the ranks. And I think that would be really cool to see, and to have multiple points of view, having his point of view be a bigger portion of the 4th book. I'm really curious about that. Now, as far as who Xaden's new brother is, I know that there is tons of discourse out there about who it could be. I've seen evidence that supports the theory that it is Bodhi, and I've seen evidence that supports the theory that it's Garrick. My instinct initially was Garrick, because he's missing in the final chapter. They don't know where he is, and it kind of felt like Xaden was surprised that this person would have been willing to do this. And the way that Garrick supported Xaden throughout the whole book, I think that he was a supportive friend, but I don't think that he was like very confident in Xaden beating this thing. And so it makes me feel like it could be him, because I think that Bodhi would be more likely, and I think Xaden would feel like Bodhi would be more likely, because Bodhi is just kind of like, he's like the right-hand man. He's like, I'm going to do whatever Xaden does. I'm going to stick by his side. And so that wouldn't be as surprising to me as it would be to have it be Garrick. Plus, the fact that Garrick was so exhausted and beaten down and depleted of his magic at the end of the book. He was walking all over the place, and they said he was so tired that it would make sense that he had to channel in order to keep going, in order to survive and keep going. And that was my initial thought, was that it was Garrick. Then I've seen a lot of evidence that it's Bodhi, and that makes a lot of sense to me too. Obviously, he is like family. It would also lean into the whole idea of there being no one else to take care of Tyrandor other than Violet if Bodhi was now Venin as well, because he is a next in line sort of in their family, and so he technically could have taken over Tyrandor and they wouldn't have needed Violet to do that unless he was Venin. So that makes sense. I could see that. I also have seen it possibly being Brennan, and I would not be surprised by this either. I feel like if it was Brennan, I can't figure out why he would have turned, what would have caused him to turn then. But I do understand that he has been watching Xaden go through this and he's been trying to find a cure. We all think that's because of Naolin. Is Naolin the big bad? My thoughts are so jumbled right now, so I apologize if this is hard to follow, but this is just where my brain is after a week of trying to like sort through the jumbled mess in my head. I still can't quite. I feel like every theory I'm like, well, it could be, maybe it could be. Another theory that never even crossed my mind ever, but I saw it literally last night. Somebody said, what if it was Riddick? And that was interesting. Did not even think for a second it could have been Riddick, but the evidence that they said was that Riddick was the most concerned about Xaden being Venom. When he found out, he was the most like, how can we trust him? This isn't gonna work, whatever. So he was the most against Xaden being Venom and against trusting that Xaden could get through this. And so for him to have turned would have been very shocking to Xaden. So I could see that. I could see it all. I could see it all. I don't know. I don't know. But that is one of the mysteries that we're going to have to live with for the next year and a half. God, I don't even know. Now, as far as what happened with Xaden and Violet, with their marriage and everything, here is how I see it. I'm not saying this is correct, but this is the way that I see it, okay? First of all, I believe that Xaden has been planning this for a long time, and I do think it's possible that Violet was in on this plan for a long time. Is it possible that Xaden asked Violet if she would be willing to do this if it came to it, and then possibly wiped her memories of that conversation when she said she would be? Maybe. I don't know. But I know at least Xaden has been planning this for a long time. Obviously, that's evidenced by the emerald being missing from the knife or the sword. That's the gem that is used for the wedding ring. I think he had this ring made a long time ago. I think he has been planning this. He even says in the very beginning of the book, when he first becomes Duke, he says, if it comes to it, I need you to do what you have to for Tyrrendor. I need you to promise me, and makes her promise. And I think that was when he started coming up with this theory. There's so much foreshadowing through the entire book about the heir and who's going to be next, and Xaden passing it on to possibly Bodhi, and Bodhi saying no over and over again. And then when they're in Deverelli and he's having Violet pretend to be his consort, his wife, and then he literally brings up, like, she says, this is not the time to be talking about this, and he's like, well, when is it? That marriage idea has been on Xaden's mind, I think, since day one of this book. Since he turned Venom, honestly. If not since he turned Venom, then at least since he became Duke. What I believe happened during the 12 hours, we all know that he was owed a favor from the priestess in Dune, in the Dune temple. I believe that he used the dragon eggs as payment, either to get them to agree to marry him or to get them to send their troops. He has maybe Garrick or Bodhi, one of them or both of them, taking those dragon eggs, bringing them to, was it Umbriel? Where that priestess originally asked for those eggs to be delivered in order to help their cause. She was like, if you give me eggs, I will help you. And Violet was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. And she was like, that's fine. Come back to me when you're a little more desperate. I think that's why the eggs are missing. I think Xaden sent somebody to get those eggs and bring them to Umbriel, to that Temple of Dune priestess. Meanwhile, the Temple of Dune that is local, that is in Aracia, was where the wedding happened. And Xaden and Violet went there, got married. I feel that Violet was the one that asked for her memory to be wiped. I don't think it was Xaden. I think maybe it might have been Xaden's idea, but I'm pretty sure this was Violet. And Violet did this to protect Xaden because she knows that everyone is going to be looking for him and everyone is going to go to her first. And now she can't be tortured for the information. Nobody can break into her head and figure it out. Her dreams won't reveal it, none of it. She can protect him because I think she knows where he is, and I think this is the only way she can fully ensure that he will be protected. So she wiped her memory. As far as the whole idea of his soul, I find that really interesting too. I did not read it that way at first. At first, I thought when it says it's yours now, that it meant Tyrandor, and it may still be Tyrandor, but I've seen so many people say that it's Xaden's soul, because the last piece of his soul, the last piece of his humanity is with Violet now. And I think that that is the way back for him. I think eventually the way we're going to get him back is through that piece of his soul that now Violet keeps. So I could see it be both ways. I know that everyone has said that Xaden always refers to Tyrandor as a she, so why would he then say it's yours now? He wouldn't say that about Tyrandor. He would say she's yours now, so it must be something else. So maybe the soul, I don't know. Also, I feel that Andarna, who we know can break bonds, Andarna broke the bond between Taryn and Sigale in order for this to work, because Xaden and Sigale have left and they can't come back, and that means that they can't have their little conjugal situation that they've had for this entire past 2 books. So I think they had to break the bond. I think Andarna helped break the bond. I think that's why Taryn is like resting now. Like Violet says, where's Taryn? And they're like, oh, he's tired. He needs to rest, because he is going through the bond breaking process with Sigale and probably in a lot of pain. I hope that that also means Andarna can put the bond back together eventually, because that just breaks my damn heart. But I think that is exactly what happened with the bond, and that is part of that conversation that Xaden was having with Sigale in his chapter about Taryn will never agree, but do you think we'll have to ask them? Like that whole conversation, I think partly was about Violet, but I think it was also about breaking the bond between Sigale and Taryn. I do have questions about Andarna saying, I won't let them burn you. I don't know what that means. I don't know if she means the Irids, because they're going to be upset with what happened with Xaden being Venin or whatever, or if she means like all of her friends who are going to have to now like find out where Xaden is by like maybe torturing her. Why would they say, I won't let them burn you? Why would she say that? Who's going to burn? Like that part I have questions, and I haven't figured that out yet. Love the idea of Dane and Sloane. Loved that line when Sloane says, I'm going to hurt you. And Dane's like, yeah, I know you are. Absolutely you are. I'm so happy for him. Dane has come such a long way. He is doing the damn best he can. He broke my little heart when his father like basically disowned him and said, I have no son. And I want the best for him. I can't believe how far we've come, but I really do want the best for Dane. And so I love that idea. Also, my battery's gonna die. Hold on. I'm also curious when Sloane says, you are very powerful, or you have more power than you should, or something like that. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means, does Dane have another signet we don't know about? Is he just super powerful? Or is he one of the 6? I don't know. Violet's second signet. Let's talk about it. Dreamwalking. Obviously, I think this is going to play a huge role in the next book. I think this is going to be the way that she can communicate with Xaden, but I also think that obviously this is going to be another tool for the Venin to get to her, or to try to get to her, to have conversations with her, for her to learn about them, learn about the ranks and all of that. But I don't think that that is it. I don't think that that's it. I think there's so many more little hints and Easter eggs throughout both Iron Flame and this book about her reading minds and getting into other people's minds. So I don't think that she can only get into someone's mind when they're dreaming. I believe that she is full intrinsic. I think she can get into people's minds when they're awake as well. I think it's just easier and it's more passive when people are dreaming because their shields aren't up. They can't protect their minds. And so I think that without even trying, she's been doing that accidentally almost. But I believe that with training, she probably can get into people's minds when they're not dreaming. So I don't think dreamwalking is the full signet. I don't believe that. Loved that we finally found out why her hair is the way it is. I still think there's more to that as well. I don't fully buy that her father wanted to fix her and so he tried to give her to do. That just doesn't, everything we know about her father, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't want to fix her. Like that just doesn't feel right to me. So there's got to be more to that. And that I do think has some relevance to where her father is now, because I believe, and I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again, I think he's still alive and I think he might be Venin. I don't know, but I think he's still alive. I think maybe he's in hiding, but I think he's still alive. And I think that probably has something to do with that temple thing. I think we're gonna have to talk to the grandma and figure that out at some point. Aside from that, I will say I am pleasantly surprised that we got out of this book fairly unscathed when it comes to deaths. I thought for sure we were going to have a major character death in this book, and I don't know, thank you, Rebecca, I guess, for giving us a slight reprieve. I mean, we did have some very near misses happen. I swear to fucking God, when I thought Riddick was dead, I will not accept his death. I will not accept his death. I think at this point, he is probably my favorite character, aside from like Xaden and Violet. Like, I am fully obsessed with him. I am obsessed with him. I'm also obsessed with Auric. Like, very much obsessed with Auric, and I love everything about him. I think he's so smart and interesting and quirky, and the way he kind of like sits back and just like waits for his moment and then just like pops in with his knowledge is just, it's delightful. I think he would make an incredible king. I look forward to that happening. We just get rid of Halden and, you know, all of them. Speaking of Halden, get in your little basket. One of the best lines of the entire book. I can't with how funny that was. Okay. I am a little bit surprised that we were able to beat Theophany. I'm a little surprised that she is gone, dead. At least I think she is. I definitely thought there was going to be more going on with her character. I thought she was fun. She was a fun, like, evil villain sort of character to deal with. I mean, dude, the amount of theories I had, I thought she was related to Violet. I still think that's possible. The whole, her signet being lightning and really just like storm wielding in general, being like a match for Violet's mom, like that is kind of explained away, as well as her hair, which has to do with being dedicated to the Temple of Dune. So like that was explained away. So like, yeah, maybe they're not related, but it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like there's more to the story. But again, I could be, now I'm like so obsessively reading into everything that maybe I'm just like making it too crazy and silly and reading into things too much. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see what happens next book, because if she really is gone, now we just have Berwyn, which is Xaden's sage, but I don't think he's the big bad. He's not like the one in charge. He's just like one of the lower level, like Theophany. So like obviously we still need to learn who like the big head venom guy is. Still think it's Xaden's dad or Naolin, one of the two, possibly. But I think we're gonna have to get into that in the next book now that Theophany's gone. Because if she's gone, like we need somebody else to be like scary and sort of like after her, you know? There's so much opportunity now because Xaden is full venom, like I said, for him to sort of infiltrate. And I think we're gonna meet a lot more venom through his eyes, I would think. And then I also have some questions about what's going on with Jack Barlow too, because Theophany requested that Violet and Jack be brought to her toward the end of the book. But he was brought there, but then like he just left again, like Garrick just took him back. That was weird to me. If I read it correctly, Garrick took him back, like in his little box. So I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why they asked to bring him there and then didn't take him. I don't know. So I have questions about that. I have questions about why Andarna is back so quickly. I think we will probably learn that very quickly. Did she get all the way to the Irid Island? Like that was a far away trip, right? And she wasn't gone that long. I don't feel like she could have gotten all the way. Did she turn around halfway through and come back to save Violet? Why did she turn around? Does that mean she is at odds with the Irids again? Or did they come with her? Did she convince them to help? I don't know. But I want to see, it'd be cool if we saw like flashbacks to that. Obviously, it would also be cool if we could see a flashback to the wedding. Because I don't want to just like not know. Like how could Rebecca just like not let us see that magical moment between the two of them? You know, I don't know about that. So it would be cool maybe if like when she gets her memories back, she could like relive it sort of so that we can see it too. Or maybe through dreams, like if she's in Xaden's dream, maybe that's how she sees it. I don't know, but I think that the readers deserve a wedding. So if we don't see that one, then maybe we need to have another one. I don't know. Poor Imogen. That was so sad. She lost her best friend. That was really hard chapter to read. Oh, and then one other theory I've seen, definitely not my own theory, but I have seen this floating around, the idea that Violet might be pregnant. I get why people think that's a possibility. I get that there has been quite a bit of foreshadowing about heirs and children and legacy and passing on Tyrandor and whatever. And I could see it. I could see it. And I also understand that she was, it is mentioned many times that she's dizzy and nauseous and whatever. But I also feel like that is just the chronic illness that she has. I think that's just the chronic, I think that's just sort of like something she lives with. And was it mentioned more in this book than others? Maybe. I didn't really notice that. So I don't know. I feel like it would be very challenging to have our main character pregnant at this point in the series, just because I obviously think we're headed toward war, and I don't see how she'd be able to participate. I think it's a possibility in the last book, but I just don't see it happening in the fourth book. I don't think she's pregnant right now. I don't know. I could be wrong. Interesting theory. I could be totally wrong. I mean, things that happened in this book, I was absolutely not. If you had said, do you think they're going to get married in the third book of this series? I would have been like, absolutely not. That's like an endgame thing. But like, so I could absolutely be wrong about this, but I don't personally think that that's where we're going right now. But I wouldn't be mad at it either. Oh my God, Satan as a dad. Okay, stop it. We're not going there. I feel like I have been talking for 30 minutes, so I hope that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that we've covered all our bases. Obviously, I was beyond pleasantly surprised by this book, and I will be thinking about it for a long time to come and looking forward to the next installment. And I get it, Rebecca. You deserve a break. You do. But also remember that we're all on the edge of our seat. We love you and we want you to have your break, but also give us more. We need more. I need more. I think my favorite part for me was just like discovering all the different aisles. I thought that was so fascinating, the way each one felt so different, and like, so it almost was like reading a book about like trials or something, where like each one is like very different, but it like keeps the pace moving so quickly. I don't know. I think that was my favorite part. And yeah, now there's so much more that we can explore. We still haven't even seen the Irid Island. Like, I want to see that. We have to see that at some point, right? So much. There's so much. Like I said, my brain has been scrambled for a week now, and I don't foresee that changing anytime soon. So that's it. I'm not even sure how long this vlog is going to be, and I apologize right now if it's crazy long, but I had a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings about this book and this series and these characters, and I just thank you so much. If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much. And if any of you loved this book as much as I did, please share any thoughts or theories with me in the comments down below. Did I miss anything? Do you agree, disagree with any of my theories? Do you have any answers to any of my questions? Because I can't get enough of this and I can't stop talking about it. So I'd love to talk to you guys about it. That's the end of this video. I will see you in another video very soon. Hopefully. Honestly, I don't know though, because unless it's about Fourth Wing, like what's the point? Bye. Theophany. Quite a name. I don't know how to pronounce any of these words. Just putting that out there. What else? So I'm planning on getting Bearish. Is it Bearish or Berwin? Berwin. Is this better? No. Okay. So my plan is to try and get as much of the Pomeranians, the Pomerish memorial of Pomeranian? Oh shit, my battery's gonna die. I'll say this really quick. What else? What else? What else? So my plan is to try and read as much as it, I cannot speak. Violet goes in front of the, what do they call it? Samaranian or whatever. Aredians. Ow. Oh, that's lovely. Where was I? Satan's dragon, I can never pronounce her name. Rude. Crabellish, I think that's how you say it. Crabellish. Theophany, finally know how to say it. Theophany.